Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Elizabeth, I'll type it in the chat, but no pressure to donate to anyone. That's my Venmo, by the way. All right, so we're gonna start in child's pose. So we're gonna bring our big toes to touch, our knees will come out wide, sitting our hips back, spreading our arms out long, just letting the forehead come to the mat. Maybe rocking the forehead side to side, massaging your third eye center. And just notice the breath here. So not trying to change it or manipulate it or anything. Just see how it is today, if it's choppy. So we'll take a few deep breaths here. Maybe coming to an intention. So in yoga, we set an intention. It can be a word, a phrase, or a mantra that brings you back to the present moment if we get a little distracted during class. Nice, choosing your intention and then sealing that in with an in-breath in our child's pose. Inhaling in through the nose, maybe your biggest, deepest breath of the day. And exhale, sighing that out, letting it go. Nice, we'll take 2 more deep cleansing breaths together. So inhaling in through the nose. Pausing at the top, maybe sucking in just a little bit more air. And exhale, making some noise, sighing that out. Good, last one. Inhaling in through the nose. Biggest, deepest, longest breath of the day. And exhale, sighing something out. Good, starting to tap into our Ujjayi breathing. So that's inhaling and exhaling, excuse me, through the nose. So those even breaths, slightly constricting the back of the throat on the exhale to make that ocean-like sound. So this is an audible breath. Nice, maybe walking the fingers just a little bit farther out, then setting the palms back down. Then maybe tinting the fingers, so bringing the finger pads to the ground, lifting the palms up off the mat. Like kind of feeling this through the backs of the shoulders maybe. Good, taking one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to walk our palms over towards the right side of our mat. So placing maybe your left palm on top of the right. Maybe not, just stretching through that left side body here. The next inhale, walking the palms back to center. Holding here through the exhale. Inhaling, lengthening that spine once more. Then exhaling the palms over towards the left side, stretching through right side body, maybe placing right palm on top of left hand. And making your way back to center. We'll hold in this child's for one more deep breath. Reaching your hands a little bit further forward, your hips a little bit further back. Good, and next inhale, we'll roll up to our table. So coming to all fours, our shoulders stacking over our palms, hips over the knees. Coming straight into our cat-cow, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. And exhaling, finding that round through the spine, tucking the chin and the chest. So taking that with your own breath. So every inhale, dropping the belly, looking up maybe. Every exhale, finding that curve round through the spine. And adding in whatever organic, intuitive movement feels good to you. So maybe it's hip circles, dancing lions, just normal cat-cows. Good, taking 3 more breaths here. Taking whatever movement feels good to you. 3 more of those Ujjayi breaths. Sorry, I feel like I'm so scatterbrained. Ever since I gave up the Saturday class, it feels like my teaching is so far apart. And then we'll come back to center. Coming into a few wrist stretches. So taking that right palm, turning the fingertips towards you. The wrist will face the top of the mat. We'll just take those small circles over that right wrist in one direction. And then switching that direction. Good, coming back to neutral. Taking a left palm. If this is too much to do, you can do it one hand at a time, but we'll take those left fingertips towards your body. Nice, right fingertips are still facing you too. Good, circling around that left wrist in one direction and then in another. Good, we're gonna take that right palm again, taking the top of the hand, placing that flat down on the mat, just crunching your fingers into a fist on that right hand. So the left hand stays as is. We're still stretching through that left wrist. Good, making those tiny fists with the right hand. And then flipping that right palm back forward to neutral. We'll turn the left top of the hand on the mat, taking those fists here with that hand. Just warming up our wrists. And then coming back to neutral, we'll take a cat-cow to flush that out. Inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. Exhaling, finding that round through the spine. Good, inhaling back to neutral. Walking our palms out for our puppy posture. We're coming into a shoulder opener, bringing our heart down to the mat. Good, maybe your forehead comes down to the mat, maybe even your chin if you have a lot of space here. Wherever feels comfortable, good for you. But if our forehead's on the mat, maybe we take our palms behind us in prayer. We're bending at the elbows. Thumb knuckles will come behind the neck. Maybe if we want to find a little bit more engagement here, we start to bring those heels up towards our glutes. Good, holding here for one more deep breath. And walking the palms back up and meeting in that table position. Nice, bringing the palms about an inch or two in front of our shoulder blades. We're gonna tuck our toes underneath us, lift up the hips, and send the chest back for our first down dog of the day. So checking our position here, let's roll forward into our high plank. If you roll forward into a high plank, your down dog is good. If you need to walk your palms out or your feet out, make it a little bit longer. We're gonna shift the hips back. So this is about the length of your down dog that you want. Nice, maybe walking out the feet, fitting through one knee then the other. Nice, and then finding stillness. Sitting here for a few more breaths. Trying not to collapse into the palms. Then making sure we're sucking. We're pulling our navel to our spine. Lifting up pelvic floor, our Uddiyana and Mula Bandhas. The next inhale, looking forward to the top of your mat. Begin to make our way up, taking as many steps as you want to here. Then maybe getting into the back of the leg a bit. coming into our ragdoll. So heel toeing the feet hips distance, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, and maybe swaying side to side, nodding the head yes and no. Good, inhale, releasing that spine, lifting up halfway, maybe bringing our palms to our shins, straightening through the spine. As we exhale, we'll plant the mat, step the feet back 1 foot at a time. Good, for this first one, everyone lowering our knees down to the ground. We'll find a chaturanga here, so bending the elbows, lowering the chest all the way down to the ground. And setting up for a few upward facing back bends, making sure tops of the feet, tops of the legs, rooted down firmly onto the ground. As we inhale, we'll lift up our chest. Nice, using back strength here. So trying to take the weight out of the palms, maybe even lifting them up off the ground. Exhale, releasing that down. Walking the palms back about 2 inches, a little bit closer to your belly button, lifting up once more on the inhale. Holding through the exhale. Inhale, lifting a little bit higher. And exhale, releasing the chest down. Good, bringing your palms outside of the mat, but they're in line with our shoulders. So kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Sending your elbows up towards the sky. We're gonna lift up into our Cobra. Good, let the right shoulder come down, looking over the left. The big shoulder stretch here. Good, inhaling back up to center. Chest is lifted. Exhaling, letting the left shoulder come down, looking over right. Good, inhaling back up to center. And exhale, bringing the chest back down to the ground. Bring our palms right underneath our deltoids. We're gonna send our hips back for a child's, for just a breath. Good, and then making our way into downward facing dog, tucking our toes underneath us and sending our chest back, finding that upside down V here. Good, taking it through a few more sun A's. Next inhale, we peek up to the top of the mat. Exhale, make your way to the top, however you want to do it. Maybe hopping, tiptoeing, floating. Good, once we get there, we'll inhale, halfway lift, peek up once more. Good, exhale, fold forward. Bending the knees as much as you need to here. Next inhale, root to rise, palms come up overhead. Oops, palms come up overhead. Good, and exhale, folding forward. Good, inhale, halfway lifting, framing the mat. Exhale, stepping the feet back, taking it through your chaturanga. If you need to modify here, we lower the knees. If not, we'll roll forward on those toes, lower down halfway. Good, inhaling up for upward facing dog. So just tops of the feet and the palms are on the ground here. Then maybe sending the head back. And exhaling the hips back for downward facing dog. Modification to that is the vinyasa, the flow that we just took. So we lower the knees. We lower down to our chaturanga. We pick up for Cobra. We go back to child's and then down dog. Good, we'll take a cleansing breath here. So inhaling in through the nose. Exhaling, sighing something out. Good, inhaling, peeking up. Exhaling, making your way to the top of the mat. Maybe this time adding in a little hop. Good, inhaling, peeking up halfway. And exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, root to rise, palms come up overhead. Maybe gaze goes up towards the palms. Good, exhale, folding forward. Good, inhale, peeking up halfway. Good, and exhale, taking it through your flow. Always option to skip the flow here. So again, rolling forward onto the toes. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhaling up for upward facing dog. And exhaling the hips back for downward facing dog. Good, taking a few breaths here, maybe pedaling out the feet again. Whatever feels good. Next inhale, we'll lift that right leg up for a 3-point. Good, making sure our hips stay square here, so our pinky toes Going down towards the mat. Nice, we'll hold here for a moment. Good, like you're pressing that right sole of the foot against the back wall. Energetically pulling our left heel down to the ground. Good, one more inhale here. And exhaling, bringing that knee to nose for cheetah, finding that cat spine here. Good, making enough space to place that right foot in between the palms without even moving the palms. Nice, lowering that back knee down to the ground. We'll inhale, rise up for our low crescent lunge. Good, maybe palms to the knee, maybe palms up overhead, maybe gaze goes up overhead. We'll be here for a breath. Just taking one more inhale. As we exhale, we'll begin to straighten through that right leg, coming into our half splits, maybe hovering for a moment, finding a bit of core strength, and then framing the foot, maybe folding over the leg. Good, inhaling, halfway lifting, finding that length in the spine, bending into that right leg once more, placing right sole of the foot on the ground. We'll spin that back foot to 45. We'll rise up to our warrior one. So hips are squared here. Maybe palms come up overhead. That right leg's in a 90-degree bend. If you can get it there, we're open enough. Nice holding here for another breath. Nice, and then straightening through that right leg, coming into our wide-legged fold towards the side of the mat. We'll parallel our feet off. Nice, inhale, open up the chest, and exhale, fold forward. Nice, anything goes with the hands here. If you want to grab outside of ankles, if you want to take, interlace the fingers behind the back, whatever feels good. Again, you can find movement or stillness here, maybe bending into the left leg, then the right. Maybe just sinking into this fold a little bit deeper. Good, releasing any binds if you have them. We'll inhale, halfway lift, maybe placing the palms to the ground. Good, walking your palms towards the back of the mat, framing that left foot, picking up that right heel. Nice, setting that right leg down, that right knee down. We're gonna lift up into our low crescent lunge. Okay, so maybe palms come overhead. Maybe palms around that left knee. Good, sinking into this right hip flexor. Finding some strong Ujjayi breaths here. We're taking one more inhale. And then exhale, beginning to straighten through that left leg. Maybe folding over it. Maybe finding a little bit of core strength here. First, and then folding. But making sure that we're still engaging our left toes here. We're flexing the left foot. Protecting our hamstrings. Good, inhaling, halfway lifting. Exhaling, finding a bend through that left leg. Lifting up the back foot, maybe bringing it in and out a bit. Setting up for a warrior one on this left side. So 90-degree bend in that left leg. Back foot's to 45. Trying to get those heels in a line with one another. Nice, maybe palms go overhead. Maybe palms touch. Maybe gaze even goes up. Nice, actively pressing into that back foot so that outer edge is glued down to the mat. Taking a few more breaths here, trying to sink a little bit lower, reach a little bit higher. One more inhale. And then exhale, revisiting that wide-legged fold. So we'll inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, fold forward, maybe finding a different variation this time. Again, so many options here. We can keep those hands to hips. We can bring our palms to the outsides of the ankles. Maybe interlacing the hands if you didn't on the last round, but whatever works for you. And we'll be here for about 3 more breaths. And then inhale, halfway lifting, walking those palms to the top of the mat, same way we started. Good, lifting up that right knee to nose for cheetah, extending it back for our high plank. Good, and taking it through a flow, so lowering down halfway through chaturanga, inhaling up for upward facing dog, and exhaling back for downward facing dog. Good, taking a cleansing breath here, inhaling in through the nose, and exhaling, sighing something out. Good, we'll take one more of those, inhaling in through the nose, and exhaling, sighing something out. Bringing that through round 2, we'll change it up just a little bit. This time we'll inhale our left leg up for 3-point. Good, same thing here, making sure our hips are squared off, our heels pulling down to the ground, right heel that is. Good, holding for about 2 more breaths. Nice, next exhale, bringing that knee to nose for cheetah. Finding that cat spine, making enough room to place that left foot down. This time coming straight into our warrior 1. Good, so bending through that left knee. Back foot goes to 45, palms come up. For warrior 1, maybe palms touch. Nice, maybe we're modifying here, no big deal. We're taking one more inhale here, and then exhale, releasing the palms behind you. Interlacing the fingers here. Good, if that doesn't work, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. Good, we'll open up the chest on the inhale, and exhale, fold forward for that humble warrior. Good, inhale, halfway lifting, releasing that bind, placing that right hand down on the inside of the left foot. We'll open up with the left arm. Good, so coming into this awkward twist, it's like a revolved side angle. If we need to lift up the back heel, we can, but trying to keep that back heel down. Good, holding here for one more inhale, and then exhale, releasing the left palm down, coming into Skandasana on the right side, so bending into that right leg, lifting our left toes up towards the sky. Good. Maybe placing that right palm on the outside of the right leg, so the elbow's pushing into the inner thigh pushing into the elbow. Maybe left arm reaches up to the sky. Good, finding a little bit of a shoulder opener. Holding here for one more breath. And then exhale, releasing that left palm down, spinning all the way back to the back of the mat. Nice, setting up for warrior 1 on our right side. We won't be going in circles the whole time. We'll inhale up for that warrior 1. And finding some strength here. Rooting to rise. Good, one more inhale. Then we'll release the palms behind the back, interlacing the fingers. Good, inhale, opening up the chest, and then exhale, folding forward. Bring the chest on the inside of that right leg. Then maybe one day nose to mat, or top of head to mat. Releasing the tension in your neck. Just hold in here for one more inhale. And then exhale, releasing the palms to the ground. So left hand stays down, planted on the ground. Right arm opens up to the right side of the mat. Good for this revolved side angle variation. If we need to lift the back heel, feel free to do that. Good, holding for one more inhale. And then exhale, releasing that right palm to the ground, coming into Skandasana on our left side. I didn't mention this last time, but we can always stay up a little bit. We don't have to bring the glutes all the way down to the ground, particularly if that's painful. Please don't do it. Whatever suits you. If you want to find a little bit more strength, lifting the hips to about knee height. Good. Maybe going for flexibility here. So holding for one more inhale. And then exhale, releasing that right palm down to the ground, rotating towards the original top of the mat. We'll pick up that left knee for our cheetah again. Go and extend it back, taking it through a flow, or simply sending the hips back for our downward facing dog. We're taking a cleansing breath here, so inhaling in through the nose, and exhaling, sighing something out. Good, setting up for our second flow. We'll inhale that right leg up for 3-point. Nice, bringing that knee to elbow for mountain climber. Trying to bring it even up to your tricep. Good, extending it back out long, 3-point. Good, then bringing that right foot in between your palms, setting up for our pyramid. So bring your left foot out and in. So there's about 3 feet in between our right foot and the left foot. We'll inhale, find that length in the spine. Good, and exhale, fold over that right leg. Good, only here for a moment. And we're gonna come into our revolve triangle pose. So again, finding that inhale length. As we exhale, we'll begin to twist open. So lifting that right arm up towards the sky. Good, our hips stay squared here, but our chest is twisting open towards the right side of the mat. Good. Left palm's planted on the ground, maybe on a block or a book, any sort of prop you can make do with. The next exhale, bringing that right hand back down to the ground, sending that back foot back into 90 degrees, setting up for a triangle pose. Good, beginning to straighten through that right leg. Nice, lifting that left arm up so we're stacking our shoulders on top of one another. Good, like we could fit into a pane of glass. Maybe bringing that right palm to the shin, or again to another block if you have one. Nice, holding here for another 3 breaths. Maybe gaze will go up towards that left thumb. Making sure we're not dumping into this right hand, so we're lifting out of it, using our core here. Nice, beginning to put a bend through that right leg. We're gonna lift up to our warrior 2. So maybe widening the stance a bit if you need to. Bring our heel to the back instep of our right foot, or our left foot, sorry. Arms will go out in a T. Gaze will go past that right middle finger. Nice, getting super strong here. Next inhale, we'll reach forward, flipping that right palm, coming into our peaceful warrior. So finding a side body stretch here, reaching that right arm back. Maybe gaze goes back to the back toes. Nice, holding here for another inhale. And then exhale, making our way into our extended side angle. So maybe it's right forearm to right quad. Maybe that right palm will come on the inside or the outside of the right foot. But just wherever we are, making sure we're not closing our heart off. We're opening up that chest. Maybe gaze will go up past that left palm. We're holding for one more inhale. And then exhale, planting that left palm down to the ground. Lifting up that back heel. We're coming into an easy twist. Right arm extends up. We're just here for a moment, making our way into a side plank. So sitting that right leg, stacking it on top of the left. Making sure our shoulders are stacked over each other. Good, getting super strong here. Then exhale, coming to our right side forearm plank. So lowering onto that right forearm, good. Left arm picks up off the ground. Maybe it extends up overhead. Good, here for another moment. Good, and next exhale, bringing that left forearm down to the ground. Setting up for our forearm plank. Nice, just for a moment. Good, and next exhale, releasing the hips down to the ground, coming to our Sphinx pose. The shoulders right over our elbows, chest is filling through the forearms. Nice, and then releasing your head down to the ground. We'll stack our palms on top of each other, making a small triangle with the thumbs, coming into alligator pose. So just resting your forehead and on that little triangle. Good, we'll be here for a few moments. Maybe coming back to intention. Maybe taking a cleansing breath, whatever feels good for you. And then whenever you're ready, slowly starting to make your way in down dog, meeting you there. Maybe pedaling out the feet. Good, setting up for our left side. We'll inhale, reach the left leg up for 3-point. Nice, bring that left knee to left elbow or tricep for mountain climber. Maybe taking flight here if you have it. Good, and then extending it back out long. Good, bringing that foot in between the palms. Setting up for a pyramid posture, sitting that right leg out and in. Nice, folding over that left leg for a few moments. Good, inhale, peeking up halfway, setting up for a revolved triangle. Left arm or right arm stays glued to the mat. Left arm opens up to the left side of the mat. Hips are squared off, but we find that twist in the spine. The next exhale, releasing that left palm down to the mat, setting up for a triangle posture, sitting that right foot maybe back and the foot to 90 degrees, maybe placing left palm on the shin of the left shin, reaching that right arm up. Good, stacking our shoulders on top of one another for our triangle pose, sending the hips back as far as we can here. Making sure we're not dumping into that left side. Good, here for 2 more breaths. Good, and then adjusting the feet however you need to here. Lifting up for our warrior 2, so taking that 90-degree bend in the left leg. Arms come out to a T. Good, making sure we're engaging that back leg, using our right glutes here. Feeling the outside of the right foot press into the mat. Gaze past our left middle finger. Maybe next inhale, reaching that left arm forward, flipping the palm, and reaching it back for a peaceful warrior for this left side body stretch. Good, next exhale, finding our extended side angle. So again, option for that left elbow to forearm. Right arm reaches out of the shoulder socket and then maybe streamlines overhead. Option for that left palm to come on the inside or the outside of the left foot. As long as our shoulder, our heart stays in here, chest stays in. Good, next exhale, planting that right palm down to the mat, lifting that back heel up. Good, setting up for an easy twist. Left arm reaches up out of your shoulder. Good, stacking your shoulders here once more. Good, and then rolling onto that right outer blade of the foot, coming into our side plank. Then maybe just stacking the legs on top of one another. Maybe lifting up that top leg. Good, here for another few breaths. And our exhale, finding that left forearm plank. So bringing the left forearm down to the ground. Side plank here, sorry. Reaching right arm up towards the sky. Maybe streamlining that right palm overhead. And next exhale, making our way to our forearm plank. Good, little different here, coming into our dolphin pose. Walking the toes in as close to the elbows as we can. It's like downward facing dog, but we're on our forearms. Feeling this through the shoulders. Maybe playing with rocking forward and backwards. Good, and then just lowering the knees down. Coming into a variation of child. So our knees should be together here. We're gonna send the arms back behind us this time. Palms face up. Bring that forehead down to the mat. Maybe rocking it side to side. Maybe taking a cleansing breath. Whatever feels good here. And then whenever you're ready, bring to meet me back in that downward facing dog. Just sending the hips back up to the sky. Good, sending our chest back to the quads. Nice, nice inhale, lifting that right foot up for 3-point. This time we'll open up the hips, so keeping the shoulders squared off. We're just gonna peel open that right hip. Good, maybe taking those big hip circles in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Good, meeting me back in 3-point. If you wanna flip your dog here, feel free to do that. We'll hold 3-point for a few more breaths. Flipping your dog just means bringing right sole of the foot down to the ground. Good, maybe finding a back bend here. Maybe finding full wheel. Good, and wherever you are, we'll meet back in that down dog 3-point. Good, so bringing that right foot in between the palms, setting up for our grounded warrior 3, placing the right foot down on the mat, pressing into our right big toe, lifting that back foot up, keeping our hips square here. If we're staying for grounded, maybe we fold over that leg, we keep our fingertips in line with the right toes. If not, maybe starting to walk your palms up towards your chest. Prayer hands is an option. Airplane arms. And maybe extending the arms directly out in front of you. Any variation is good here. Then making our way to our big toe hold. We'll slowly rise up into stork, so bring that left knee into chest. Bringing the left knee into chest. Good. Maybe grabbing that big toe with your left peace fingers. If not, we're grabbing the outside of that left leg. Same thing. Both great variations. If we have the big toe, maybe we extend the left leg out long, making sure that our hips stay square, standing leg as straight as we can. And shoulders stay square too. Maybe that right arm goes up to the sky. Good, we'll be here for another breath. You can bend the extended leg too, it's no big deal. And then opening up that left hip. Bringing the left foot towards the left side of the mat. And then back to center. We'll release the bind, but keep the foot extended just for a breath. And then exhale down to the ground. Inhaling, palms up, and exhale, finding a forward fold. Your forward fold of choice. So you You can find Padusasana or Padhastasana, so maybe big toes, or peace fingers to big toes, maybe palms facing upward, stepping on the palms and folding them. Any variation is good. And inhale, halfway lifting, releasing that bind, walking the palms forward and stepping the feet back. We'll take it through a flow here. So inhale, rolling forward on the toes. Exhale, lowering down halfway. Inhale, reaching out for upward facing dog. And exhale, taking it back for downward facing dog. The next inhale, left leg rises up for 3-point. This time, maybe bending the knee, opening up the hip. Maybe taking circles with that hip. Good. Again, option to flip your dog here if you did so on the other side. Maybe trying out this side. Every side's a little bit different. Good, and then wherever you are, meeting me back from that 3-point, left leg extended out long. Nice, bring that foot in between the palms. Setting up for a grounded warrior 3. Rooting through that left leg. Right leg extends up and back. Good, again, option to stay grounded here. Or option to find a little bit of strength. Bring our palms in the chest. I will be here for a few more breaths. Slowly walking our palms forward. Making our way into stork. Bring the right knee into chest. Maybe palms go straight up overhead. Good, coming into our extended big toe hold. So option to grab that right big toe with your right peace fingers, or again, outside of the leg with the right palm. Either way is fine. Good, might be finding a drishti point, something to focus on here. Maybe left palm reaches up. Going for one more inhale. And exhale, opening up that right hip. So bringing the right leg over towards the right side of the mat. Good, inhaling back to center. Releasing any bind, but keeping the hold. For one more breath. And then exhale, releasing that foot down to the ground. Inhaling, palms up overhead. And exhale, swan diving forward. Taking another forward fold variation. So maybe taking the opposite. If you took Padusasana with peace fingers, big toes, maybe taking Padhastasana and vice versa. Maybe playing with straightening the legs. Good, inhaling, halfway lifting. And exhaling, stepping back to our high plank. Good, coming into a little core here. We're gonna take like mountain climbers, but we're not coming from down dog. So we're just gonna alternate our feet here. So bring that right knee to elbow, but extending it back, left knee and back. Good, going for, let's do 10 on each leg, or as long as you can, whether it's more or less. Good, going as slow or as fast as you want to here. Sometimes slower is harder. I forget what I'm at, so probably like 6. Remembering to breathe here, in and out through the nose. We'll say this is 10 on each side. Good, and then releasing those knees down to the ground. Flushing that out, stretching the abdominal out with a cat-cow. Maybe 2. And then setting up for our hero's pose. So we're going to bring heels towards the outsides of the mat, sitting our glutes down in between them. But this may be enough for you. Maybe it's already too much. If it's too much, just go ahead and extend one leg. So only have one knee bent. If it's not, we're going to go ahead and begin to walk our palms backwards. Or maybe coming down onto the forearms. Maybe if you have the space, lowering down all the way onto the shoulders. If you have one leg extended, I'll tell you when we're about halfway, so you can switch those two legs. It's starting to reach that halfway point, so if you have one leg extended. And then wherever you are, your chest is lowered down, starting to walk your way up. We're going to extend those legs out long. Setting up for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So inhaling the palms up overhead. And exhaling, walking the palms forward, keeping that length in the spine here. Maybe grabbing the toes, back to the feet. We'll find a lift here. And then maybe exhale, forward folding. Again, option to bend your knees here as well. There's no rule in yoga that your legs need to be straight. We're inhaling up halfway. We'll exhale here. And then inhaling all the way up. Coming into cobbler's pose. So we're just going to bring the soles of our feet together. Those are butterfly. And we'll inhale up. As we exhale, starting to walk our palms forward, folding over the legs. Inhaling, slowly starting to come up. And setting up for double pigeon, or I feel like I've heard them called like fire logs or something like that. We're just gonna stack our shins on top of one another. So our outside of our right foot will come on top of the left leg, trying to get it as far left kind of as you can go. So not cheating here by bringing it to the calf. Good, and then letting that knee come down naturally. Will probably be lifted up. It's okay if it is. Again, if this is too much, and you want to extend out that bottom leg, feel free to do that. But here for a few breaths. If you have a ton of room here and want to begin to walk your palms forward, feel free to do that. And then slowly beginning to walk your chest up. Go ahead and switch the legs here. If you want to take windshield wipers, just let those legs fall side to side. Take that out a little bit. Feel free to do that. We'll take our left leg over top this time. And again, if you have the space, want to start to walk your palms out, feel free to do that. Good, and then inhaling, slowly coming out of that. Again, maybe finding those windshield wiper legs. And setting up for our reverse table here. Bring our soles of the feet to the mat. Our fingertips will face the body, so facing the top of the mat. We'll push into our palms, soles of the feet, lifting our hips up towards the sky, letting our head go back. And then setting those hips down towards your heels, maybe bending into the elbows a bit more, finding a shoulder stretch here. Maybe you've been feeling this in your and then lowering all the way down to the mat, setting up for a few rounds of bridge here. If you like traditional bridge, feel free to take that. If you're gonna go straight into your full wheel, also feel free to take that. We'll just set up for a normal bridge here. So soles of the feet to the ground, palms down to the ground. We'll lift up our hips towards the sky, maybe walking our shoulders under a bit more, maybe interlacing the fingers, getting palms to touch. We'll be here for about 3 more deep breaths, coming down whenever your breaths are done. And gently lowering down the hips wherever you are. We'll take one more round of bridge. So if you have a block or a bolster, this is a great place to find supported bridge. Just placing that right underneath your sacrum. If not, setting up for round 2. If you know a different variation, or if you want to try wheel, we'll bring our fingers facing towards us. We've done plenty of this during practice, so maybe that will give you a little bit of encouragement to try. Nice pressing into our palms and the soles of the feet, lifting up, straightening through the arms, coming into maybe full wheel. Finding 5 of our deepest breaths here. Whenever your breaths are done, slowly lowering down. You're in full wheel, coming out, same way you came in, tucking the chin to chest. Good. We'll bring the knees in, giving yourself hammer that out, bring the soles of the feet together, knees will come wide. We'll come into a bit of gratitude practice. So placing one hand on your heart, one hand on the belly, feeling in 3 things that you're absolutely grateful for in this moment, in this day, on the in-breath. Good, and exhale, sighing them out. Bring our knees to chest once more, setting up for our spinal twist. So arms will come out to a T, legs will come to 90 degrees. Let the legs fall over to the right to start. Gaze maybe goes left. It's maybe taking that right palm on the outside of the left leg, deepening the twist a little bit. We're holding here for a few breaths. Slowly coming back to center, letting the legs fall over towards the left. Gaze will go right. And then bringing those legs back to center. Setting up for our inversion practice. So taking whatever inversions your favorite. I'll offer happy baby. So we're going to go ahead and take the palms to the outsides of the calves, maybe outsides of the feet, maybe big toes. Wherever we are, making sure our low back's glued down to the ground. Next, we're just going to go ahead and bring those knees towards our armpits. Any inversion here goes, just trying to get our legs above our head. So maybe it's waterfall or dead bug, just extending the legs up. Good. If you're in happy baby, you want to try straightening through one leg and then the other. Feel free to do that. So then gently releasing out of that, extending our legs to each corner of the mat, taking up some space here. Maybe palms go beside you. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths to end practice today. Maybe starting to bring a little bit of movement back into your fingers and your toes. Finding some circles with the wrists and the ankles. Starting to bring your knees into chest, giving yourself a big hug. Roll to your favorite side for fetal position. And then with your eyes closed or hazy, making your way up to an easy seat. Maybe bring our palms to our knees. Coming back to intention here. Nice, maybe choosing to let that intention go as it served its purpose, or taking that intention with you through the rest of the day, the week, the month, the year. Nice, next inhale, we'll bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye. Thank you, yogis, for practicing with me today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and week, and I hope to see you soon again. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. I don't know if I cut out at the end there, so